Tonight on the program, how toxic contamination of the Kok River in the north of Thailand has raised serious environmental concerns and what international laws can be used to fix it. Then how can the Thai government attract more foreign direct investment as regional competition intensifies? And we find out how the disruption of AI may affect women's jobs. สวัสดีค่ะ I'm Nad Bunag and welcome to This Week with Thai PBS World. World Environment Day is on June 5th and we begin the program tonight with environmental concerns in the north of Thailand. The Kok River is being contaminated with arsenic and other heavy metals, which pose alarming threats to the livelihoods of the people and animals along the rivers in Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai provinces. As gruesome as it looks, these fish are suffering from skin diseases and are infested with parasites and bacteria. The fish were caught in the Kok River, which is currently contaminated with arsenic and other heavy metals. In fact, this is just a tiny part of the problem. The toxic contamination of the Kok River was first exposed in March after villagers in Ma Ai district of Chiang Mai complained that the river looked murkier than usual and they had started to suffer from skin rashes after swimming in the river. The Environmental and Pollution Control Office in Chiang Mai took samples of the river water and found excessive levels of arsenic. Villagers are advised not to drink or use water from the river as arsenic is harmful to villagers' health. It does not only damage people's skin and cause diarrhea, but long-term exposure can also lead to cancer. It is suspected that the arsenic is from unregulated discharging of wastewater into the rivers from gold mining activities operated by Chinese investors in Shan State of Myanmar. And to give you a better understanding of how the river is contaminated, we can take a look at this map. The red line you're seeing on the screen right now is where the Kok River runs. It flows from the Shan State of Myanmar through Ma Ai district of Chiang Mai, passing 4 nearby districts and into Mueang district of Chiang Rai before flowing into the Kok River in Chiang San district in Chiang Rai. Meanwhile, the Sai and Ruok rivers also have their sources in Shan State, flowing into Ma Sai district of Chiang Rai before flowing into the Kok River in Chiang San district in the same province. And on this map here, you can see that there are several gold mines identified in the Shan State near the Kok River. And the unregulated discharge of wastewater into the river causes toxic contamination affecting the livelihoods of the people, animals, and the whole ecosystem, with the river itself recording high levels of toxic chemicals such as arsenic, cadmium, and mercury, and these are very harmful to your health. And tackling cross-border pollution requires a collaborative effort, but provincial administrations are still struggling to deal with this problem because the Shan State is controlled by several armed minority groups. Meanwhile, the governor of Chiang Rai has revealed the test of the water, vegetables, and fish along the Kok River and have not detected arsenic or other heavy metals and that they are safe to consume. Regardless, the provincial government and authorities say that they will continue the testing to ensure safety for the villagers along the river. As the problem is allegedly coming from a neighboring country, now we look into the international laws that are intended to curb cross-border pollution. So what can really be done to tackle this issue? And do these mechanisms really work in practice? Warisara Sahan has more details.
Locals and ethnic groups in Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai have been holding rituals and cultural protests as transboundary pollution in Kok River is severely affecting their livelihoods. After 2 months of suffering with the problem, on June the 5th, which is World Environment Day, the crowd gathered to campaign and demand that the Thai government shut down the mining operations in Myanmar's Chan and Kachin states and clean up the contaminated rivers urgently.
วันนี้เป็นวันที่จะทำให้รัฐบาลได้เห็นว่าคนเชียงรายจะไม่ยอมอยู่นิ่งเฉยจะไม่ยอมในเรื่องของสารพิษปนเปื้อนที่ยังมีอยู่ในแม่น้ำของเราเพราะว่าวันนี้มันชัดเจนแล้ว แล้วว่าคนเชียงรายมากันเต็มที่ครับข้อเรียกร้องเราเต็มที่ก็คือหนึ่งเรื่องของการแก้ปัญหานั่นแหละแล้วก็คือหยุดเหมืองเราชัดเจนก็คือหยุดเหมืองให้ได้สองก็คือฟื้นฟูแม่น้ำของเรา
As part of the campaign, many experts, environmental and human rights activists are calling for the government to take immediate action and provide concrete solutions, or the people will end up with long-term health issues.
จริงอยู่ว่ายังไม่มีคนตายจริงอยู่ว่ามันยังไม่มีคนที่ผิวหนังไหม้แบบอย่างเห็นได้ชัดแต่นี่มันคือปัญหาที่สะสมในระยะยาวถ้าเราทิ้งไว้5ปี10ปีเนี่ยพื้นที่ตรงนี้เราอาจจะมีคนที่ป่วยทั้งหมู่บ้านก็เป็นไปได้นะคะ
The Thai government has been coordinating with Myanmar to hold discussions, especially to address the mining operations. But the action so far does not meet everyone's expectations.
เรารู้สึกว่ามันช้ามากนะฮะมันช้ามากเพราะว่าเรื่องนี้เกิดมาตั้งแต่เมษายนใช่ไหมฮะเมษาจนถึงเนี่ย2 มิถุนายนเนี่ยเพิ่งจะส่งหนังสือไปซึ่งผมคิดว่ามันแสดงถึงความเชื่องช้าของรัฐบาลในการแก้ไขปัญหาแล้วก็มันดูไม่มีความมุ่งมั่นมากเพียงพอและในหนังสือเนี่ยก็พูดเฉพาะแค่แม่น้ำกกเท่านั้นทั้งที่มันมีแม่น้ำกกใช่ไหมครับแม่น้ำสายแม่น้ำรวกแล้วก็แม่น้ำโขงนะฮะ
Most of the alleged mining operations are thought to be owned by Chinese companies and are in the areas controlled by the United Wa State Army or UWSA. Given that there are no clear laws or agreements between ASEAN nations on transboundary pollution, though it could be challenging to seek cooperation between China, the government of Myanmar, and the UWSA.
ให้มาร่วมกันแก้ไขปัญหาเพราะมันมีเรื่องของอำนาจอธิปไตยที่เราไม่สามารถที่จะเข้าไปจัดการพื้นที่ในพม่าได้
Soratanamani Pongla, an executive committee member and lawyer for the Community Resource Center Foundation, says that this transboundary issue should have been addressed at ASEAN level. She also suggested that the Thai government set up a special committee and address the issue in a drafted ASEAN Declaration on Environmental Rights, which would be aimed at having a shared commitment among Southeast Asian nations and an international legal framework that helps protect citizens and the environment.
รัฐบาลควรใช้เวทีอาเซียนซัมมิตเมื่อปลายเดือนที่แล้วที่เขามีการประชุมกันเนี่ยเอาไปพูดเพื่อที่จะเป็นโอกาสในการหารือกับรัฐบาลพม่าแต่ก็ไม่ทราบว่ามีการดำเนินการกันหรือเปล่าเพราะว่าไม่เห็นข่าวนะคะไม่เห็นข่าวเลยทั้งที่จริงๆเรื่องนี้มันเกิดตั้งแต่ปลายเดือนที่แล้วตั้งแต่เดือนที่แล้วนะคะมันเป็นผลกระทบที่เฉียบพลันเพราะมันเป็นเรื่องมลพิษนะคะซึ่งอันเนี้ยก็เป็นเรื่องอีกเรื่องหนึ่งที่ถ้ารัฐบาลเนี่ยต้องการที่จะป้องกันไม่ให้เกิดปัญหาขึ้นเนี่ยการที่จะมีข้อตกลงอาเซียนในเรื่องนี้เพื่อที่จะเกิดความร่วมมือมันก็น่าจะเป็นสิ่งที่ดีด้วย
The affected rivers, such as the Kok, Ruak, and Sai rivers, flow into the Mekong River and affect the lives of over 1 million people. Currently, there is a surveillance center established by the public sector, such as Thailand's Pollution Control Department and Ministry of Natural Resource and Environment, to monitor the toxin levels and to communicate with the residents. Nonetheless, there are no mitigation or prevention plans for affected people or proactive solutions from the Thai government. Warisala Sehan reporting for Thai PBS World.
And putting that law into practice still remains a huge challenge. And now let's have a look at the other stories making headlines throughout the week in our weekly roundup.
Thailand restated its desire to resolve the recent border tension with Cambodia exclusively through bilateral mechanisms following the clashes at the Chongbuk border pass on May 28th. This came after Cambodia vowed to refer its border disputes with Thailand to the International Court of Justice, citing the failure of existing mechanisms to resolve tensions over 4 sensitive areas along the border. Interior Minister Anutin Chanvirakul has dismissed rumors that he might exchange portfolios with Digital Economy and Society Minister Prasert Jantararongtong in a cabinet reshuffle. The speculation began following former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawat's comment last week that the Interior Ministry should be returned to the Pheu Thai party because the ministry is underperforming. Deputy Finance Minister Julapan Amonwiwat has said that a casino must be included in the government's entertainment complex project to generate tourism revenue. He cited the competition between countries to attract foreign tourists is very high, even within the ASEAN region, prompting Thailand to develop the entertainment complex to remain competitive. The Joint Standing Committee on Commerce, Industry and Banking has decided to cut the GDP growth projection for this year to 1.5 to 2%. The president of the Thai Bankers Association said the adjustment is due to a global economic slowdown and uncertainty over negotiations between Thailand and the United States over the reciprocal tariffs to be imposed on Thai products exported to the U.S. market.
While investors are seeking new locations for their supply chains amid global uncertainties, Thailand is struggling to maintain its position in the region. As neighboring countries offer incentives to attract new investments, and experts emphasize an urgent need to streamline regulations. Our business anchor Frank Hanshi joins me now to explain in more detail.
So, Hainet, before we talk about those issues, I think we should fairly mention Thailand's foreign direct investment amount because in the first 5 months of this year, we've seen some positive trajectories. According to the Department of Business Development, there is an 5% increase in terms of investment amount compared to the same period last year, which delights the economic landscape because this increase is equivalent to 57 billion baht. And another positive sign shows 43% increase in terms of business certifications, with more than 360 foreign companies receiving business permits. Breaking down to top 5 foreign investors, Japan led the chart, whereas the United States, Singapore, China, Hong Kong followed. We've seen various industries' business leaders investing in the country, including data centers, EV charging stations, warehouse, and cloud services. One of prominent policies that we have to mention is the Eastern Economic Corridor, or the EEC, with vision to expand the economic zone. Investors want to see more logistic infrastructure, such as high-speed rail connecting 3 major airports, Suvarnabhumi, Dongmueang, and Utapao, and seaports that welcome cargo containers. But we've seen some risks emerging on the landscape at this moment because other nations, such as Vietnam and Malaysia, they are providing same incentives and similar spatial economic zones to compete with Thailand. I've seen some headwinds amid global uncertainties globally, such as U.S. tariff impacting every country and fast-forwarding shifts of global supply chains. And domestically, those complex regulations needed to be revised by the government. So now we have to ask this question, key question here. Can Thailand proceed with regulatory reform by a very fast manner amid global uncertainties? This is what the EEC Secretary General has to say.
We have a certain hiccup, I can say, hiccup on the demand where the investor is trying, because the demand that they forecast a few years back is not the same right now. But I think it's a short-term happening, because we still talk with certain investors in certain countries where they know that Thailand is still competitive.
Well, some investors, they are confident of Thailand's competitiveness, but some considering moving their supply chains to other nations. This is what he said.
Some may go, but some will come. Yeah, I think the incoming will be more than the outgoing. And the incoming investment will be on higher end investment where where we talk about energy, we talking about advanced manufacturing, we're talking about those who want to turn from production to service, doing like a solution for the lifestyle of the new generation. So we will get like investment for the future rather than the traditional investment on production based or on the labor incentive investments.
Despite a positive outlook on FDI, what Dr. Zula has stressed is to streamline the regulations as soon as possible, because compared to other neighbors, it still takes some time for other investors, new investors, to come to Thailand to set up all the factories or business registration in Thailand. And law and regulations need to be revised as soon as possible. So now, of course, I think Dr. Zula also pointed out that we have trump card, which are electricity supply and infrastructure. But for business leaders, every moment counts for them. So right now, Thailand needs to streamline the regulations and conduct revision of regulatory reform as soon as possible.
All right, and this will depend on how Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra will make a decision. And from economic concerns, now let's turn to AI and the future of jobs. Recent studies show that women's jobs in Asia and the Pacific are more likely to be affected by AI disruption compared to men. Recently, I had a chance to speak with the UN Women's Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific about how she views these concerns and what can be done to improve female representation, especially in the AI and tech industries.
AI is changing the way of work and the labor market in general. With these rapid changes, women are more likely to be impacted by AI's disruption. A recent joint study by UN Women and LinkedIn found that women in Asia and the Pacific region are highly represented in jobs that will be disrupted by AI, such as administrative assistants, legal assistants, and customer service representatives. Furthermore, female workers tend to transition to similar jobs which will be disrupted by AI more than jobs that are insulated or not fully replaced by AI yet, putting them at risk of job displacement. Christine Arab, UN Women's Regional Director for Asia and the Pacific and representative to Thailand, feels that women are still underrepresented in AI engineering roles despite increased investments in digital infrastructure across the region.
And the way that we use AI, that needs to be dictated by an equal group of women and men, because that is still dominated by young men. And the algorithms and everything that is embedded in AI is replicating the gender stereotypes we've seen for the last 100 years.
Right.
So it is crucial that that be given particular attention in ASEAN. It is such a progressive region in the use of AI and technology, but it needs to equally invest in the number of women and girls entering STEM education.
In a way, the lack of enough female representation in the AI and tech industries touches on a persistent problem: labor force participation. According to UN Women, the current labor force participation by women globally is 64%, which is only a 1% increase since 1993. As for the ASEAN region, 61% of women are formally employed. The reason why the issue remains entrenched is quite obvious.
It's what is expected of women by their communities, by their families in terms of jobs. So does the education and the expectation of the type of job you should have as a woman and a man match the market in your community? The second is going back into the home. Right. We are expected as women to perform a multitude of valued and important unpaid care, as we call it. Taking care of our parents, our grandparents, our in-laws, our children, people in our family with special needs. Women in ASEAN spend 4 times more of their time on care work than men. That doesn't mean it's not a loved role, but it directly impacts our ability to be in the workplace if it's not supported, either within the household or outside.
But how can we push for more women to take part in AI development and AI engineering roles?
We need to target women's inclusion in STEM now. You are getting the graduates. Private sector needs to hire. And the governments need to invest more in enticing 16-year-old girls and boys to engage, to be in the sector. Otherwise, it's not going to change. We're already seeing the platforms are predominantly controlled on social media by men leaders. Their politics are starting to play out in these platforms all over the world. And we have to be very aware of that fact. So we're behind the 8 ball. We're on the hind foot, as we say, and we need to drive this change, or it'll be too late.
There are still opportunities ahead, though. UN Women suggests that more female leaders in AI and the tech industry can move towards a gender-inclusive workplace, which can also help tackle existing gender biases and misrepresentations of women. The regional director for Asia and the Pacific also hopes that governments, including Thailand, will continue to develop more policies to support women in the workforce.
No person should have to choose between a job they love and a job they need to do and their family. It should be both, and they should be supported in that. And all of the statistics show us that the more that companies do this, the better payoff the companies themselves have.
Nad Bunag reporting for Thai PBS World.
And now let's turn to international relations between Thailand and Bangladesh. As both countries are committed to enhancing youth empowerment, the ambassador of Bangladesh to Thailand has highlighted that many students from his country choose to come to Thailand to study Buddhism.
In celebration of 50 years of diplomatic relations with Thailand in 2022, Bangladesh is now looking to deepen ties with Thailand through educational partnerships. During a visit to Bangkok, Bangladesh's chief advisor, Dr. Muhammad Yunus, highlighted the importance of youth empowerment with a particular focus on education. Thailand's strong legacy in Buddhist studies has also drawn interest. The Bangladeshi ambassador to Thailand said that Buddhist students from his country increasingly choose Thailand as their destination to pursue a religious education.
Education does play a critical role. Thailand is already a popular destination for Bangladeshi students. We do have a regular inflow of students coming to both the public and private universities in Thailand. I would particularly mention the presence of some of our Buddhist students from Bangladesh who come to, say, for example, the Mohachula Langkawi University to study international religious studies and so forth. But this is just one sector. I'm happy to see that there are Bangladeshi students pursuing their academic career in diverse disciplines, including some of the sectors that I did flag at the beginning. So this is definitely one of our priorities.
The ambassador also highlighted the importance of the Thai market. Following talks with Thailand's Commerce Minister, he expressed hopes of boosting annual bilateral trade to $5 billion, provided both agreed to start free trade agreement negotiations to reduce tariffs.
I had the opportunity to meet with Khun Pichai, the Honorable Commerce Minister. He was very gracious in receiving me. And we agreed that we need to enhance our bilateral trade by significant margins. It is not really reflective of the strength of our bilateral relations that we still have our trade volume hovering somewhere around $1.3 billion every year. Our target is to take it up to at least $2 billion in the near future, and maybe $5 billion in not too distant future. But in order for that to happen, we definitely need a free trade agreement where both sides can lower our mutual tariffs so that we can have easier access of our products to each other's markets.
With closer relations with Thailand, Bangladesh hopes to deepen its links with ASEAN. Ambassador Kazi said that his country is strongly connected with Thailand and other ASEAN countries in light of civilization, adding that Bangladesh aims to join the bloc as a full member in the future.
ASEAN as a whole is a burgeoning economic powerhouse, so obviously it's very much in our interest to pursue multidimensional engagements with ASEAN. And as part of that, right now we are trying to deepen our institutional engagements with ASEAN. Our first pitch is to become a sectoral dialogue partner for ASEAN, which we hope at some point would lead us to becoming even a member, a full-fledged member of ASEAN. But the reason we are trying to do that is, of course, as you said, we already have historic, almost civilizational linkages with ASEAN.
The ambassador pointed to language and cuisine as clear evidence of the deep cultural ties between Bangladesh and Thailand, adding with a smile that the spice in Thai food is no challenge for him.
We actually have civilizational linkages with this part of the world in Bangladesh. So obviously the similarities are very, very striking. Two aspects that I can mention is, first of all, our shared linguistic heritage. Both our languages, Bengali and Thai, they're largely derived from Sanskrit and Pali. And the other aspect that I would mention is, of course, our attachment to food, to cuisine.
I have to ask you, have you adapted to the spicy food here? Or
Yes,
you think it's
yes.
totally fine?
Absolutely. As I said,
Okay.
I mean, our cuisine is also very much spice-based.
Okay, right.
So spice is not really an issue for me at all. I mean, our staple food is rice as well, so that is kind of the basis. So obviously, I mean, in terms of adapting to the taste, not really. And I think Thai food is popular the world over.
Frank Kanshi reporting for Thai PBS World.
And that's interesting indeed. And that wraps up tonight's edition of This Week with Thai PBS World. Join us every Friday at 10:30 p.m. only on Thai PBS. And don't forget to follow us on social media and our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest stories and analyses about Thailand. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Friday. สวัสดีค่ะ